We ask that you remain standing. I now invite Mr. Michael Allen, project quantity surveyor of this property, to lead us off in prayer.
Most Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Holness, and your team, to Mr. Fritz, Kevin Fritz, and his team, to all distinguished guests present, all protocols observed. Let us pray. Abba, Father, we give you thanks and we give you praise this afternoon. We gather here in your name. We gather here and we exalt you as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. You are the God of Abraham, of Isaac, of Jacob. You are the true and living God. And we give you reverence and extravagant respect this afternoon. Lord, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank you for the vision that you have placed in Kevin and his team. I want to thank you, oh God, that you have created this beautiful land and has caused this project to nestle in this section of the island. We want to thank you for your grace and for your favor. Lord, we want to ask a special blessing upon this project. Your word declares that unless you build a house, they labor in vain that build it. And so, Father, we recognize that all good gifts comes from you. We recognize that without you, our best efforts are but futile. And Father, we want to thank you that you'll grace us with favor and with blessing on this project. Cause, Lord, that everything done here will be done decently and in order. We ask, Father, that you would bless this function. Bless everyone who witnesses this day. Cause, Father, that it will be a memorable occasion for them, that they will enjoy this ceremony. And we thank you for all those present, that you will also grant unto them journeying mercies as we shall leave this place. Father, we truly recognize and we call upon heaven and earth to witness this day and cause that this project, Father, will be a sign and a wonder and a testimony that no matter what difficulties might lie ahead, we can go it and rest assured knowing that you will help us to be successful and to prevail. Again, Father, we just acknowledge your greatness. We acknowledge your grace. We acknowledge your presence in our midst. And we say thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Remain standing, please, as we recognize and pay homage to our country. The musical ensemble led by Dr. Lisa Walker, Zara Walker, Emma Walker, and Alex Walker, a family of Walkers, will lead us off in the national anthem. Thank you very much. You may be seated. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Erwin Clear. I have the distinct honor and privilege to be your massive sermonist today. I do have a flight to catch later on, so we're going to make this thing quick. Welcome, Prime Minister. Good to see you again, sir. And also, we're in the parish of St. Thomas, so we can't be in the parish of St. Thomas, and royalty is also now present. We welcome the Morgan's family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And to all who are here, we welcome the Member of Parliament, Mr. James Robertson, and other official and distinguished guests in the audience. At this point, from the organizers of this event, and I'd like to say the folks who are making this thing happen, and you know, Mr. Pierre, I just want to say on behalf of the Jamaican diaspora, many of whom travel here periodically, they don't always just have to go west of the airport anymore. Welcome to St. Thomas, and thank you very much, Kevin Fitz and the TC Holdings, for making it happen again. At this point, I'd like to bring welcome opening remarks, the chairman of TCF Holdings Limited, Mr. Lance Thomas. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. I'm very happy with the turnout and tempted to say all protocols observed, but we pay respect as it's accorded. So the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, Honorable Marcia Bennett, Custos of the Parish of St. Thomas, Honorable James Robertson, Member of Parliament, His Worship the Mayor, Mr. Hubert Williams, Mayor, Ambassador Marjorie Grant Fuller and her assistant, our valued partners, members of the Sun Coast Development and Construction team, sons and daughters of the Parish of St. Thomas, other distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, pleasant afternoon to you all. Welcome to the ribbon cutting and opening ceremony for Sun Coast Beach Club. I am happy we are all sharing in this significant moment as we officially launch this exciting and transformational project. Jamaica and the Caribbean region as a whole has always been a leading global destination for dream vacations. And an exceptional component of our tourism product is the allure and popularity of the Jamaican culture. And that naturally lends itself to an excellent opportunity for property investment for locals and foreigners alike. So whether for primary residence, vacation home, or rental income, Jamaica provides an attractive value proposition for real estate investment. Now, this aligns well with our national vision for our island to become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Through this Sun Coast Beach Club project, we are proud to be contributing to this vision and helping to realize the vast potential of our nation. What we are offering to our prospective homeowners is a living experience whereby they can enjoy coastal, resort-inspired living within 12 miles of our capital city. Whether it's the contemporary design of our residential units, our premium amenities, or the exquisite vistas, which many of you have already started to experience, residents will have an awesome array of choices to suit their lifestyle preferences. We are also quite proud of our location and are happy to be perched right here in 12 miles, opening the gateway to the huge and largely unexplored potential of the parish of St. Thomas. This location lends itself easily to the convergence of the rich and vibrant city culture of the Kingston metropolis, merged with the traditional community appeal of St. Thomas. You will notice that almost all our Suncoast residences are designed with adequate allowance for yard space, so that the living experience extends beyond the walls and interacts with the environment. At Suncoast Beach Club, residents are afforded easy access not just to the island's capital, but also to the Norman Mann International Airport, Port Royal, the known and hidden treasures of the parish of St. Thomas, as well as the rich offerings of the parish of Portland and its storied capital of Port Antonio, and not to leave out the neighboring parish of St. Mary as well. Now, although this is our grand opening, it should be noticeable that we have already made significant progress with our infrastructure works. And those of you who have had the opportunity to view our model units will no doubt be looking to tour the entire property, all 90 odd acres of it, so you can see the fullness of what we have to offer. This was not possible and is not possible without the efforts of our hard-working development team led by our CEO, Mr. Kevin Frith. And in partnership with key stakeholders, including the 12 Miles and Bull Bay communities, the highway construction team, our bankers, and our wonderful team of sales agents. We look forward to building on this solid platform of teamwork that has taken us here, as we remain focused on delivering an outstanding product. Now, we're very much aware that residential developments of this type and standard are usually reserved for the northwestern section of the island. And we're quite happy that through Suncoast Beach Club and other efforts, the island's southeast is now making its mark. So, while Negril can boast about its beautiful sunsets, let's not forget that the sun still rises in the east. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and please enjoy the rest of our program.
Yeah, before the sun sets, it rises right here in the east. Thank you very much, Chairman Thomas. Just a bit of house duties. Will the driver of a Toyota Rush 1874 JM please rush and remove your vehicle now, please? All right, Toyota Rush 1874 JM. Thank you. Moving right along. We'll now have greetings from the Honorable Marcia Bennett, CDJP, Custos Rotolorum of the Parish of St. Thomas.
Honorable Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. My Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, Jamaica's Prime Minister. I want to thank you, Prime Minister, for your vision for this historic parish, James. We salute you for taking time out to be here. I feel confident that the opening of the Southern Coastal Highway marks the beginning of great things for this noble parish. Thank you, PM. Mr. James Robertson, Member of Parliament for West St. Thomas. Mr. Kevin Fritz, CEO, TCF Holding and Developer, South Coast Beach Club. Mr. Cyril Mason, Chairman, First Regional Cooperative Credit Union. Mr. Michael Allen, Mr. Hervin Clare, our Master of Ceremony, individuals who have joined on the various online platforms, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a high day in Zion. We gather here today to celebrate the long-awaited Sun Coast Beach Club opening, an endeavor of TCF Holdings Limited that embodies innovation and luxury living right here in St. Thomas. As we stand on the cups of progress, let me take a moment to reflect on the journey that has brought us here. Established in 2020 by visionaries Kevin Fritz, Lance Thomas, TCF Holdings embarked on a mission to redefine real estate. Here in what is often considered the forgotten parish, by introducing highly innovative and contemporary housing solutions to local and international markets. Today, we realize those dreams with Suncoast Beach leading the charge in development across the parish. This success is not solely the result of ambitious dreams, but the collective effort of a dedicated team. TCF Holdings prides itself in upholding the core values of integrity, excellence, and positive energy in every aspect of their work. This development of Suncoast Beach Club, with its 91 acres of prime real estate, beachfront property here in 12 miles, offers city living with the quaint St. Thomas ambience that we all love. The strategic location makes everywhere just around the corner. I am delighted to share the joy that Suncoast Beach Club brings as a catalyst for the growth and development of St. Thomas, equating to more jobs and opportunities for all our residents. Today's ribbon cutting ceremony serves as a moment to propel further development in St. Thomas. Furthermore, today allows us to showcase the potential of our people and parish. We are thrilled to have you with us as we celebrate this momentous occasion with many, many more to come. Thank you for believing in the potential of St. Thomas, and we look forward to the bright and prosperous future that Suncoast Beach Club promises to bring to Jamaica. May God bless each and every one And we look forward to many, many more openings just as this one. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Costas. And now for the vision for St. Thomas. He won't be singing just yet, but he has some things to say. Let's welcome Mr. Graham Smorgan.
Good afternoon, everyone. All our friends, guests, most honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Robinson, good to see you. Robertson, good to see you again. Kevin, we did it. All real estate agents, I love you. Let me tell you something. It was in 1995, a man named Denry Morgan from the parish of Clarendon. He was in New York and he fainted. And I said, I want to go home. And he said, but I don't know if I want to go back on Maypen. And we played on Reggae Sunsplash 1992, and there was something inside of him saying, I want to go home. Him saying, I'm tired of eat Akiota can in America. Many of our families can relate, because some of we freeze Aki and carry go up a fire. Not true. I want to say achoo. Achoo, man. And he said, I want to come to St. Thomas. They called him the crazy Rasta man. The crazy Rasta from foreign. That's what they called him. But I'm happy he made sure that his children got education that we saw. Said Daddy had a vision. It used to take 3 hours to reach from Harbour View to St. Thomas, where we live in Port Morant, where our estate is. I know my brother came here this morning and it said it took him 30 minutes to reach here this morning. Make some noise for our Prime Minister. In life, people, you have to have vision. You have to have vision. Without vision, the people will perish. I plead to all of the real estate agents here today, because you guys are going to make this happen. The banks, you guys are going to make this happen. Because you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. And the vision of St. Thomas, we see where it's going. When we brought our festival, East Fest, to St. Thomas, people say, but wait, the road not bad. I'm really speaking about St. Thomas because I feel very proud and show off this morning. Because my Prime Minister opened the highway to this parish. So I remember, like I said in the beginning of me talking, that it used to take 3 hours when we used to go down a Waterhouse and to Bobby Digital to record songs down by the river, and She's Still Loving Me and Reggae Bring Back Love. A lot of those songs hurt my back because the road was so bad. And now I drive in this morning. It felt good. So it just shows you that Jamaica, we're on our way. And I just want you to be patient with our people as we grow. Church and state, let's be patient with our citizens, but we must have a vision. We must stay focused. And I remember driving along here, going to St. Thomas, going to Port Morant, and I saw this sign. And I said, what are going over there, sir? Vision. I looked and I said, that looked like something where I got there, Montego Bay or Ochi. And like the gentleman said, no more shall you have to look to the west. No more you only have to look to the north coast. We have pretty beach at St. Thomas. And I thank Kevin for just bringing first world construction, fashion, because I've stayed in a lot of nice hotels around the world, in many nice countries. And when I enter that model, if you haven't gone in there yet, people, you have to go. I felt so good. I said, at St. Thomas this? So without vision, the people will perish. So I implore everyone that is listening to this morning and the vision of Suncoast Beach Club. I want to say, not because the most honorable is here, but a lot of people want to come home. And they're used to a certain lifestyle and a certain amount of living. And I pray that crime will go down in this country, that people can come home and enjoy a place like Suncoast Beach Club. Because believe me, people want to come home. Like I said, Aki out of the can, it's not nice. You only get so tolerable. So once again, let's keep this vision alive. I was watching online, Most Honorable Prime Minister, the project in Montego Bay. And I saw that project, and I'm going to get a piece there too. Because I tell all of my artist friends, instead of having 3 Range Rovers, change out one of them and get some land now. We need to start investing in the land in Jamaica. How many gold chains we're going to have? And I'm just talking about my sector of the business, because I'm a musician, for those who don't know. I'm from a group named Morgan Heritage. And I'm just showing you that a lot of these young men today, we are given the opportunity of reggae and dancehall music to go and sing for the world and represent and play and represent a flag that is green, yellow, and black, which is the country of Jamaica. And for many, many years, my father have said, carry yourself properly. Carry yourself and represent your country. You're an ambassador. And I give thanks to understanding what my father taught me many years ago, that when we come from New York, growing up in Springfield, Massachusetts, and we come home to Jamaica, it was like we was home. Some people say, but wait, I want to chat so bad. Listen, me have some cousin who never come to Jamaica yet. And I tell people, my language is my language. But I'm not going to go into the DMV and the pan, yo, give me a license, you know, I go answer. I'm going to say, good morning, sir. How are you? My name is Roy Morgan, and I conduct myself properly. Correct? Because they don't tell the Indian don't speak them language. They don't tell the Spanish man don't speak them language. They don't tell the Chinese don't speak. Your language is your language because it carries a frequency. It's like if you don't know the password to the Wi-Fi, you can't connect to the Wi-Fi without the password, you know. So I implore you, God bless Miss Lou, keep our country moving in the right direction. Make our country proud. And Kevin, I'm proud to be a part of this project. I'm proud to be a homeowner in this project. And I'm bringing in my brother Mojo. He's going to get a piece too. And we're going to enjoy this property. Everyone, thank you for coming here tonight, and welcome to Suncoast Beach Club. I'm Gramps Morgan.
It is always a hard act to follow after an artist of notable claim like Gramps Morgan. Not only the tone of voice, but what do I say? And I can't sing. But I think he epitomizes a lot of what people are thinking. And I'm truly supportive of what you say. Many of us want to come back home, and this is a new opportunity to encourage Jamaicans in the diaspora to invest in this piece of the rock. So, I now have the distinct honor and privilege to introduce we call him the man of the moment. And just a brief background. I've known Kevin now for too long. And he's one of those persons who transitions and transforms and moves and set the pace. He doesn't sing to anyone's tune, but he's a go-getter. And he doesn't have a problem sweeping the floor. Speaking from a diaspora perspective, he's been involved with many of our organizations in the United States in one way or another. And just selfishly speaking from my perspective, a great supporter of that organization called Team Jamaica Bickle, that this year celebrates 30 years of services to our athletes. And thank you very much for being our guest 2 years ago, Prime Minister. But Kevin is well understood by many in the diaspora to be an entrepreneur who is out there seeking for the betterment of the nation. Today demonstrates that. We are honored and privileged to see a concept to reality. And I'm quite certain that the momentum gained from today will just embellish the process, and who knows, he may need more land. That being said, as I introduce Mr. Kevin Fritz to the microphone, Mr. DJ, please help me. I couldn't have done it any other way, Grams.
You've been in the dark with your restless heart long enough, waiting for the light with your eyes shut tight and your wings wrapped up. I always knew there'd come a day I'd have to watch you fly away. So fly, 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 butterfly. Let your colors paint the sky. Be beautiful and free.
Let's welcome Mr. Kevin Fritz.
Fly, 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 butterfly. Wherever you go, through the highs and lows, take my love. If you get turned around and you're feeling down, it'll lift you up. Don't fight the winds of change. Let them carry you away. Fly, 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 butterfly. Let your colors paint the sky. Be beautiful and free. Up where you're meant to be.
Good afternoon, everyone. The most Honorable Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Honorable Marcia Bennett Custis of St. Thomas, Mr. James Robertson, MP, His Worship Hubert Williams, Mayor of St. Thomas, and to the team of Suncoast and all our friends and family, good afternoon and thanks for coming. So, I am Kevin Fritz, the CEO of TCF Holdings, the development company of Suncoast Beach Club. So, the whole thing started back in March 2020, upon leaving the bar business that I was involved with for many years. I left that company and decided that I needed to get involved more in real estate based on another experience in St. Anne. And a friend of mine directed me into this land that was up for sale because we were looking for something in the area based on the announcement of the highway about to start. And a friend of mine told me about Mr. One Ken selling the property. I came to meet him, and I had no clue as to how I'm going to afford the place based on what David said it was selling for and the time frame that we need to deal with it. But with the grace of God, we're here today, and I'm very happy for it. So for Suncoast, we're building 396 residential units, ranging from 2-bedroom townhouse, 2-bedroom duplex. Our model unit is a two-bedroom duplex, about 1,850 square feet. For phase one, it's duplexes and townhouses. Phase two will be duplex townhouse and luxury apartments, and phase three will be luxury villas, three-bedroom townhouses, and some more luxury apartments. And to the front of our development, we'll have about 15,000 square feet of commercial space with supermarket, urgent care facility, EV charging station. We're basically putting in a lot of amenities to cater to our residents who will buy into the project. In terms of some of the amenities for Suncoast, we have jogging trail, of course. We have doggy park. We have waddling pool, football field, tennis court, basketball field, a whole range of amenities. The concept behind Suncoast is to build something that homeowners will feel the pride of coming home and the urge of getting home, because there's so much involved that for their own comfort. And the concept, when you get a chance to look inside the model units, it's a resort style design that will basically give it that feeling as if you're at a resort, but you're at home. So the idea is to give you something that when you get home, you don't want to leave. I'm not really a big on speaking, but I try my best, so thanks for coming.
You gotta understand something, is that it's money that does the talking. Don't expect a whole lot of eloquence and verbosity from entrepreneurs like Kevin Fritz. It's money that does the talking. In my business, they say it takes cash to care, but it's money that makes this thing work. Okay, Prime Minister. Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Kevin. So we're going to march Labor Day again this week, here on Eastern Parkway, right, Kevin? Next year? This year? Yeah, man. Okay, good. At this time, we invite for presentation by Mr. Mahari Hay, who is the Director of Trade and Working Capital, Lloyds Banking Group, UK. Is he here? Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, it takes money. And here comes a person with access to.
Wow. Good afternoon, everybody. Most Honorable Prime Minister, it's wonderful to finally meet you. Done a lot of work in the Jamaican High Commission in the UK, so to be here and to be amongst Jamaicans. A lot of you are probably listening to my voice and probably wondering, is he Jamaican? Right? So, I was born in Victoria Jubilee Hospital. Right. Kingston 13, Maxfield Avenue. That's some Abana and Grower. So there's a special connection with St. Thomas, and I must say it's wonderful to be here and just be among so much great people and the leadership of the St. Thomas Parish. And I went to the UK, and just to give certain advice to single man, my wife is from St. Thomas. So if you're looking for a good woman, find one in a St. Thomas. What I do want to bring to life today is about vision. And Kevin, our relationship has grown over the last couple of months. And it was my wife that connected me to Kevin via social media. And we had a conversation. And through that conversation, money started talk. But Mr. Prime Minister, there is something that really stood out to me over the last couple of weeks as I've been following your campaign on social media and across digital platforms. And you said something that resonated in my soul. That I said, I'm going to take the flight, even if it's just for 3 days, just to come and meet you. And the 3 key words that he said was, every ghetto youth is a star. Every ghetto youth is a star. So now you know where I come from. You know, say Maxfield, you know, say me a ghetto youth. But there was a vision that my mother had when she left Jamaica, because there was an opportunity to go to the UK for me to do something special. And that was something to create impact in the UK so that I can return and do something special in Jamaica. And through her vision, the opportunity, something special was birthed out of her sacrifice. Moving to anywhere in a foreign land can be a really daunting situation. You have to learn new cultures, try new food, adapt to the weather. For anybody that knows England right now, it's cold. And I ain't stopped sending texts to my wife to say, yeah, me just eat a nice curry goat and sun a shine and I feel nice. But when you come back home to Jamaica, you realize just how special this place is. And I'm quite privileged to be in some really influential conversations in the UK. And one thing I don't detract from is where I'm from. But as I began to climb the ladder, there's something that really stood out to me. And if you were trying to find the right answers, there's a key thing that you need to do. If you want to get the right answers, you need to start asking the right questions. Think of that for a moment. Think of the answers that you're looking for certain things, whether it be a business venture, whether it be something personal in your life, career opportunities. The moment you start to ask the right questions, you'll begin to get the right answers. And there was something about knowing your worth and what you can add value to any conversation that you go into, any room that you step into. It's about understanding your worth and know exactly what you can bring to that conversation. So you've got to imagine a young man like me. I turned 42 this year. Look good, don't? All right. There's something who you are as an individual. Has anybody heard of the money theory? Let me give you an example. So what I have in my hand here, this is a £20 note. Right? I didn't want to bring dollars, or I said, let me bring, come here, Englishman. I'll bring you a £20 note just to show you how many. So this is a crisp £20 note, fresh. How much is this worth? Right? As it stands now, it's worth £20. That is the value of this dollar. So say it with me. How much is this worth? Watch this. As I begin to fold this, and I scrunch it up, still £20. As I begin to unfold it, what's the value of this? That's how you need to understand the value of life. Because no matter what life throws at you, and it crunches you up and it knocks you down, once you dust yourself off, you're still worth £20. And I think for me, understanding the value that I could add to many influential conversations in the UK, there was nobody that could knock my strength, knock my pride, because I realized and I understood where I came from. And the investment that Jamaica put in me before I left here to go to the UK was something I will never forget. And that was built of 3 core principles in me as a human being. And that was about being engaging, being able to bring excitement, and having a call to action, which is all about execution. And how that works is we have Kevin Frith. There's a man who's had a vision. And what he's done with that, he's been able to engage the population, not just in St. Thomas, but the nation of Jamaica. Through that engagement, he's managed to stir up excitement. People are excited to see what Suncoach Beach Club will be like. So you're sat on the edge of your seats, you've seen stories, you've seen pictures, you've heard testimonies. There's an excitement brewing in St. Thomas. I'm excited. So much that it charged me a little price, so I have to buy a little villa, so. But a lot of people go through life when they're just talking. So you can't want to engage people with a concept and then get them excited about what's to come. You must always have a call to action, which is your execution, and that's the delivery of the Suncoast Beach Club. So through his journey and his vision, we are now partnering with you, Kevin, to understand that we will walk with you to the execution and the delivery of Suncoast Beach Club. And that's why we're here today, to say thank you for your vision, thank you for your insight, thank you to the leaders of the St. Thomas Parish. Most Honourable Prime Minister, we appreciate your energy and your time and the efforts that you put into this place. One thing I want to leave you with, and those watching at home in the UK and all across the world, there's no place like home.
Thank you very much. I didn't bring any US dollars with me, so I can't do all that stuff that you did. They probably arrest me too, you know. Right, Gramps? In the interest of time, and as the musician sets up on stage, I'm going to ask the custos of the Parish of St. Thomas to join us on stage for a minute for a presentation tour, and I'm going to ask the chairman of the TCF Holdings Limited, Mr. Lance Thomas, to join us on stage to make a presentation to the custos. I want to take this opportunity to recognize, at least he was sitting there before, a member of Parliament from St. Catherine. Oh, there he is, Mr. Robert Miller. Welcome, sir. I gather St. Catherine is here peeping on what's going on in St. Thomas, right? James, Mr. Robertson, watch him. Okay. All right, are we ready? Could we have some assistance with the microphones, please? And as you do so, remember now, the subliminal message that Kevin gave you today was that if you came with your credit cards or access to your accounts, you can talk to one of the real estate agents here. You might get a special offer. All right? So I hope you got the message. I'm articulating it to you now. Don't just come and look at it and say how nice it is. Make sure you call your loved ones and friends all over the world or wherever they are that this is the time to invest in St. Thomas right now. Because after this, not certain. The prices go higher, right? Because I hear Graham Smargan talk about him having there already. I'm going to tell all of his artist friends. I know where artists and friends go, price go up. So it's a good time to get going. Are you feeling me? Hello? I know you didn't eat yet. I know you're drunk already, but are you feeling me? All right, are we ready? And for all those who are on the social media platform, it's time to take a trip and come down to Jamaica. Prices are good right now for airfares. And it's very cold in New York, and it's even more so in London. So time to come home. Right, PM? I agree. All right, the PM agrees. Time to come home. We also want to thank all those who made today possible, the sponsors, the real estate agents, the banks, all those who are supporting this project. We just want to say thank you very much. You signed on to a good thing. So your marketing reps are doing a good thing. They associated your brand with a fantastic brand, a global brand. And I'm quite certain that the benefits will be quite rewarding. So as we prepare here now for another musical presentation by the family Walker, led by Dr. Lisa Walker and her children. Put your hands together and welcome them once more on stage.
And now we're going to, mic on please. Hello? Now we're going to invite our youngest family member to come up and help us celebrate a very special day. This is the birth of a very special Jamaican musician, Bob Marley. Birthday. Can we get the mics up, please?
Another round of applause for Dr. Lisa Walker, Zara Walker, Emma Walker, and Alex Walker. Thank you very much. So it's been brought to my attention that some people who are trying to get here today, that they passed the place. And I found out that it's not because of the sign. It's still in their minds. It takes so long to come to this place that they prepare themselves for a long ride and they passed here and they had to come back. I say that because convenience and accessibility are some of the tenets of the success of any project. And with the development of the highway, will suit this place quite well. And so we just want to thank all those who are making great strides to make these things happen. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the staff of this property for their work as you see them milling around and doing things and making sure that today's presentation is what it is. Won't you give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And as you do so, also acknowledge and another round of applause to the wait staff, those who have been serving you and making sure that you're quite comfortable here. So without further ado, my responsibility now is to introduce the person making the keynote address. And, you know, his reputation precedes him with respect. He's our Prime Minister, who has taken time out from his busy schedule to be here today, demonstrating the importance of this project and its impact on our nation. I know that it's a busy time for you, Prime Minister, but we're great to have you. So, ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we welcome the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, ONPC, MP, and Prime Minister to make his presentation.
Thank you, Erwin Clare, for your generous introduction. Please all be seated. Erwin and I have a very good relationship. Please believe me. And Erwin is to be commended for the work that he does in the diaspora with our sporting teams and the Jamaica Bittle. In fact, the pen relays and the teams that go to the pen relays, much of that wouldn't be possible without the work of Erwin Clare. So please give Erwin. Allow me to acknowledge your Member of Parliament, James Robertson from Western St. Thomas. And I gather Robert Miller was here, but he had to go back to Parliament, which should be beginning just about now. Our Custos, Marcia Bennett, thank you so much for being here. Let me acknowledge the entrepreneurs behind this. Mr. Lance Thomas, the chairman, and Kevin Frith, the CEO. And to you, our specially invited guests, thank you for coming. Now, before I go into my presentation, let me say a few words about talent in Jamaica. I don't want to sound as if Jamaica is an extraordinary country. But I can't help it. The truth is that if you look at talent per person, if you look at skills, special skills per person, Jamaica has a high ratio. And when you saw the Walker family, clearly Mrs. Walker has ensured that it is not just by dint of DNA, but it is the deliberate discipline of ensuring that all our children, even though it is clear to me that it is in their DNA, but to play that instrument requires discipline. It is an example of the realization of the innate talents that exist in our people. If only we were able to provide the opportunity for the talents to be properly discovered, honed, and developed. Jamaica is an extraordinary country. We have a special story in the world. One of our academics described us in this particular way in one of his books. He said Jamaica is the confounding island. And we continue to confound the world, not just with the fastest man, not just with Bob Marley and Marcus Garvey, but we continue to show the world that even from the depths of economic despair, we can pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. And that is Jamaica, the confounding island. So today is a very good day for St. Thomas, and indeed for Jamaica. Gramps told you that his back is no longer paining him from the very bumpy ride that he would normally have taken, because this morning I officially opened Part B2 of the Southern Coastal Highway Project, which is the highway from Harborview to Yallas in St. Thomas. St. Thomas is no longer the forgotten parish, no longer. St. Thomas is now in the forefront of the minds of not just the people, but of investors. St. Thomas is now taking the pride of place that it should have had taken many, many years ago. St. Thomas is moving from poverty to prosperity. I was reading an article in preparing for this presentation, and when the developer was asked, why are you making the investment in this parish? Obviously at the time, you know, the idea was that there's really no development that will or can take place in St. Thomas. But his answer, Kevin's answer, was the government's larger-than-life South Coast Highway Improvement Project. Roads bring development, and without the road, it would be difficult to sell the development, as nice as it is. A very important point to be made. Government has a very important role to play in the development of a country. Government's policies are important for the development of the economy. So clearly, the road made this 90-acre property accessible. The road added convenience. The road added efficiency and increased productivity. The road made the construction costs more manageable. the road has unlocked the potential of all the lands on the corridor. Under this road that you have driven on there, you don't see it. But the government has laid fiber optic cables. Everyone along this stretch and up into the hills will have access to fast-speed internet. A lot of things will be built on that. The digital economy is built on that. We have put in water mains, ductile pipes that carry a significant volume of water under high pressure. They won't deteriorate quickly. They'll last very long. So all the lands along this corridor and the roads leading off, they will have reliable water supply. In some areas, we have pre-laid sewer mains. I'm not certain what the arrangement is for this project, but for the Morant Bay project, which we're doing, the new urban center, we have made provision for sewers. And I'm certain that developments that are in proximity to that will also benefit from that. So, in some ways, the government claims this project, as we will claim all the projects along this stretch, because we have had to hug up all the complaints, all the cussing, all the criticisms, all the bad name. So of course the government must be entitled to claim the development and the benefits and the gains and the development and the prosperity of the people. Yes. So we decided that on this day, Bob Marley's birthday, we're going to open the highway, but we're also going to have the opening of the Sun Coast Resort project. Because the two things must be linked. We are not building a road to nowhere or to nothing. We are building a road to development. And the road to development starts with a road. Yes. So, you have this lovely road, but you're going to have, from what I have seen, the plans that have been laid, the model unit that is already up, the infrastructure work that is going on, you will have a fantastic development here. But from where I sit, I happen to know all the other developments that are coming. So let me give you a little sneak peek into some of them. So, you know, we have the urban center, which is being built. And the urban center will have a new courthouse for St. Thomas, brand new, state-of-the-art. It is going to be probably the most modern courthouse in Jamaica when it is done. I've seen the plans. It will have a new parish council office. I say parish council because I'm still tied up in it. A new municipal authority building. It will have facilities for banking, supermarkets, retail, what they call quick services. Let's use another name for it, restaurants, and, you know, I hate to say this, but maybe, should I? I mean, let me see. 10 years ago, or yes, around 8 or 9 years ago, I had a meeting in Morant Bay. I believe it was at the church. And it was a packed hall. And the people there were quarreling in our style. You know, people were very expressive and effusively so about the situation in St. Thomas. And I'll never forget this. A young lady stood up on the same theme. St. Thomas is the forgotten parish. And she said, St. Thomas don't have a stoplight, and St. Thomas don't have a Kentucky. I don't want to call any brand. Forgive me if I did. But what she was in her mind, I mean, clearly she was relating to this whole business of St. Thomas being the neglected parish, but she's also saying that, you know, this parish has been left out of things that are considered modern. And when I remember leaving the night on the drive back on the bumpy road, I said, you know, once we get into government, we must do something for St. Thomas. We must do something for the parish. And I started doing quite a bit of research on the history of the parish and why it is that, you know, the colonial government didn't invest in the parish. The post-colonial government did not invest in the parish. You know, why when I was Minister of Education, we started to look at education outturns by parish. And I'm not going to go into what those statistics reveal, but it was clear that St. Thomas, a parish with so much potential, it just was not being realized. And from then, I developed this love for the parish, but the determination that we need to do something to correct the historical wrongs to this parish. And as soon as the opportunity presented itself, you know, we became the government and we directed the policy towards this parish. But not just this parish, it affects parts of St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and Portland. So it's the eastern corridor of development that we are building out. So this development is a part of it. The Morant Bay Urban Center is a part of it. So we have already now directed the NHT to be a part of the development. You know, we have the goal of building 70,000 new housing solutions. It's a really very ambitious task, but you know me, I'm always putting my hat where I have to stretch to reach it. And we are doing some stretching to reach those 70,000 units. The pandemic really gave us a big hit and delayed us, but we are still on track. We're looking to have these houses starting to be delivered 2025, 2026. But the NHT has currently in the planning stage the Hectors River development. We have the Lethal Community Renewal, which is ongoing. We have the Roselle development, which is a guaranteed purchase program. And when you put all of that together, we will be producing a total of 1,682 housing solutions right here in the parish. So I know that you're going to hear the usual criticisms. You know, every good you do, there's somebody's trying to find something to negate it. You're going to hear, well, this is a resort for the rich. You know, Jamaica is a diverse country. We have all kinds of people from all over. And we have to accommodate everybody here in Jamaica. One thing the government must do is that whatever we do, we must make sure that we give priority, preference, and attention to the poor. And that is what we are doing. So even though we have directed government policy is not going to build fancy houses. No, government policy is build the road for everyone. The lovely houses that will be built here, we will get good property tax. We will have people coming back here from overseas to live. We will get their income tax because they're going to be earning more than the threshold. And then we will take those taxes and we will invest it in fixing the off-roads, in providing the water, and in ensuring that we have enough money in the PATH program to send the less wealthy, the poor children, to school, and to improve the conditions of the poor households. There is a false notion in our country that we're going to be able to solve our problems of poverty without creating wealth. A total disconnection as to how the world works. You have to create the opportunities for wealth. So, government is well on its way to moving this country and this parish from poverty to prosperity. I wanted to just very quickly point out that this, what we're doing here in terms of directing public resources to build roads and so forth, is also going to create a new economy for St. Thomas. Already, we have 4,000 hotel rooms projected for this area. 4,000. St. Thomas is going to become the next tourist destination. So between St. Thomas and Portland, with what we're doing here, I want to signal, however, that it is not the intention of the government to make this a colony of inclusive, all-inclusive resorts. That's not the intention, because we want to have a diverse tourism product. So the way in which we are hoping to direct the developments here is to have a more integrated tourism, where the people are a part of the tourism. The people are a part of the attraction. The attractions and the hotels don't have to be high density and high intensity. We're looking more to direct a more low intensity, low density kind of tourism, one that emphasizes and focuses on people, nature, and culture. So we're building it out slowly, but I would say within the next decade, this is going to be a totally different landscape. Let's put everything together and see how that economy will work. It is likely that you could come into Port Royal on a cruise ship, or you could fly in to Norman Manley International Airport, and you could jump on a chartered bus, or if you want, just take a taxi. If you wanted to see some art, you could go to the National Gallery. If you wanted to learn a little bit more about Bob Marley, you could go up to Bob Marley's museum. If you wanted to experience Blue Mountain Coffee, you could go up into East Rural St. Andrew and get a good experience with real Blue Mountain coffee. Or you could take the scenic route from Harborview, and you could end up at the National Museum of Jamaica's modern history, starting from the Morant Bay Rebellion in 1865. A well-established museum that is curating Jamaica's history and experience. You could go and visit the refurbished and preserved courthouse, and you could experience what we would call, at that time when it is done, Old Morant Bay, which will have all the facilities of a properly established town. And then you could leave there if you want, and you could go over to Port Antonio. Imagine Gramps decide to put on some special festivals here. Imagine movies being made here. Just think of the possibilities of the kind of economy that we can create here. Not just for lifestyle and homes, which is one element of the economy, but you can have tourism. But let's not forget, we have excellent land for agriculture in St. Thomas and excellent opportunities for mining. So everyone who lives in this parish, all your entrepreneurs should now be thinking, it should be clicking in your mind, and I need more entrepreneurs, more people like Kevin to be taking the risk now on St. Thomas. To say, let's think of the investment ideas, because that is how we're going to grow the economy. That is how we're going to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise your families, do business, and retire in paradise. I know it's going to take some convincing, but I will continue to be the missionary for that dream. But we are well on our way there. We are well on our way there. And we are well on our way because people who are true entrepreneurs, people who understand how the economy works, they are looking at a couple of things. And they look at the fact that the government's debt to GDP has decreased from a high of 150% at one time to now 74% of GDP. And they see it going down. The trajectory is going down. So they know that projects like this one will continue. We will have more fiscal space to dedicate to capital works like these. So investors are saying, yes, that's a good sign. But investors are also comforted to know that even during the pandemic, even with global conditions being less than favorable, our dollar has remained relatively stable within a band. And if you are an entrepreneur and you are an investor, you're going to want to be sure that when you make an investment at a particular exchange rate, you can bank on that. In addition, Jamaica's management of the economy has been such that the inflation rate after the pandemic went up to as high as 12%. We have brought it right back down to just between 5 and 6%. Our target is to between 4 and 6. But we're getting it back into our target range. My friend from the United Kingdom will tell you how the United Kingdom struggled with inflation and how inflation soured the minds of the electorate in many countries, not just in the United Kingdom, but right across the world. It had an impact here in Jamaica, but we have managed to bring it down. So investors and business people, they look at that. They also look at the fact that when we decide to build a project like this, and I was talking to Kevin and he was telling me that this project will be in 3 phases, and the third phase is likely to start 3 years from now. Can you imagine the risk that the entrepreneur, the investor is taking to put money down now, to be tied into a project for 3 years, when anything can happen in 3 years? You could have some exogenous shocks. You could have some weather event. All right, you can't control the weather. You could have some geopolitical event. You can't control which big country going to go to war. But the one event that investors are all something called political risk, government risk. There's one thing, rainfall and something get flood out. Is another thing, some sovereign country decide to take some action that affects global trade. But it's another thing when bad government come and make things bad for business and people. So when investors say, I am going to take long-term investment positions, you know what that is? That is a sign that the investors believe they have confidence in government policy. When investors say, you know what, I'm not going to take exploitative short-term positions, meaning I'm just going to put in some money to get it back out quickly. I don't really care what is left behind. But when investors start to be patient with their capital, that is when you know your country is on a good track for development. You're not looking at just 1 year and 6 months development. You're looking at 3, 4, 5. You'll make an investment for a decade. And that's what we're seeing happening in Jamaica today. A local businessman, a young man. And that is what we want. So I want to use this opening of the Sun Coast Resort as an example and appeal to other young entrepreneurs. Now is the time. You are the people who take risks. You are the people who make things happen. Now is the time to take the calculated, studied risk on Jamaica. Now is the time to invest. In closing, from my perspective, we have never been in this position. Jamaica is at what we call an inflection point. An inflection point is when the rate of change that happened previously immediately, very quickly, rapidly increases. So you're going along like this and then all of a sudden you do like this. Jamaica is at its inflection point where the rate of change is going to happen very rapidly. I'm certain that along this corridor, land prices have moved significantly. Value has been created. We do not want to create an unequal society. The people of this parish who have suffered for long, when the development comes, they must not be shut out of the development. So, yes, I'm encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit, but I'm also saying to you, your development must have people at the center of it. Give the people respect, give the people work, and give the people opportunity. St. Thomas has suffered, and it is as a result of that suffering, starting with the Morant Bay Rebellion, why Jamaica is where it is today. So whatever development happens here, whether it is private or from the government, we must be respectful of the history of the people, pay them the due respect, and ensure that the development here is equitable and everyone here has an opportunity to move from poverty to prosperity. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to ask the CEO of First Regional Credit Union, Mr. Alfred Billings, to step forward to make a presentation.
I want to hear your presentation. So I'll hold it for you.
Mr. Prime Minister, on behalf of the TCL Holdings Group, I want to thank you for your contribution this afternoon, for reminding us of the path that has been charted and is being crafted for Jamaica and St. Thomas's development. Thank you very much.
All right, we're just about at the end. Before we go to the ribbon cutting, I made a calculated decision, Kevin and PM. I'm going to miss my flight. Anyway, at this point, we'd like to call on Dr. Sefton Cummins, CFO, First Regional Credit Union, to give the vote of thanks. Please let's welcome him, a very important person to this organization.
Our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Member of Parliament, Mr. James Robinson, His Worship, the Mayor for St. Thomas, Mr. Hubert William, Custos Rotolorium for the Parish of St. Thomas, the Honorable Marcia Bennett, members of the Morgan's family, other distinguished guests, team TCF Holding led by Chairman Lance Thomas and CEO Kevin Fritz, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I consider it a privilege this afternoon for me to move this vote of thanks. As a member of the management team of First Regional Cooperative Credit Union Limited, I am delighted to represent our board of directors, the rest of the management and staff who played a vital role in the Suncoast Beach Club project to date. For us, this event represents the coming to fruition of an idea that was conceptualized by Lance and Kevin and was supported and backed by First Regional, the financial institution that was willing to step outside of its comfort zone and usual way of doing business to support this promising project along the corridor of St. Thomas. We are happy that our role in the acquisition and development of this project is culminating with this opening ceremony and ribbon cutting exercise. We are pleased with the value that was conceptualized, created, and will eventually be delivered to the owners of the units in this project. We are pleased with the team of Suncoast, what they have accomplished, and the relationship that has been fostered with First Regional since 2020. We are pleased that we continue to invest in our people. At our credit union, one of our core principles is that we encourage members' participation. And so we were encouraged when Kevin and Lance came to us with such a proposal. Therefore, this afternoon, I want to thank all of us who have shared in this experience. First, I want to thank our Prime Minister, the Most Andrew Holness for his keynote address. Sir, we thank you and your team for facilitating the development of this road. That has provided convenience and accessibility and attractiveness for this project. We agree with you that St. Thomas is no longer the forgotten parish. I want to thank the Custos Rotorium for the parish of St. Thomas, the Honorable Marcia Bennett for bringing greetings and for welcoming us to your wonderful parish. St. Thomas, based on what was outlined by our Prime Minister, is poised for great things. And we are happy that you are helping to facilitate in this area. Mr. Mahari Hay, we are happy that you are a ghetto youth that has risen to stardom. We thank you for representing the Jamaica brand well on the global stage. And we will heed your advice by asking the right questions. To Dr. Walker, Zara, Emma, and Alex, we thank you for those beautiful renditions. Mr. Morgan, I can assure you that your vision for St. Mary is shared by all of us. That's St. Thomas, sorry. That's why we are here, and that's why there are so many stakeholder groups represented here this afternoon. To Lance and Kevin, we thank you for your visionary leadership at TFC Holding and for having the will to pioneer a project of this nature in St. Thomas. Your investment in South Coast, in the Sun Coast, will not just yield personal gain, but will make a significant contribution to nation building. We thank you, Mr. Allen, for invoking the presence of God in our midst. We want to also acknowledge the members of the media houses that are here who have added visibility to this event. We know that there will be great take-up of the unit here. Mr. Master of Ceremony, we thank you for the excellent job this afternoon and for the excellent way you manage the proceeding. Our invited guests, other stakeholders, we thank you for gracing us with your presence and sharing in the proceeding. We also invite you to consider investing in one of these units here at Sun Coast Beach Club. Thank you.
So I heard the Prime Minister spoke about 3 years risk. Is him that? I think we should take out insurance on him too. But we want to thank you very much, Mr. Cummins, on behalf of your organization, First Regional Credit Union, for standing up. Right, Kevin? Because I know that it's been a challenge, and I think that it's another homegrown entity supporting another homegrown entity, and that always bodes well. Well, we have come to the end of this section. And now we're going to move now to the ribbon cutting. I'm going to ask the Prime Minister, Kevin and Lance, to join the Prime Minister as we walk across to cut the ribbon. But before we do so, Prime Minister, I'd like to just please avail yourself, sir, to take a picture with the Walker clan. And they're presenting themselves right now. Mr. Cameraman? Kevin, you want to prepare the rest too? And Mr. Gramps Morgan, please join that group too, with the ribbon cutting. And I understand important information been given to me that a global Grammy nominee entity or something like that will be providing us a taste of what they're all about at the end of this ribbon cutting. All right, so